guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing the top 10 Kickstarters of the month. So let's jump in. I do have a couple of friends who have Kickstarters, so we're going to talk about that first. And of course, I also do have a Kickstarter of my own, like Father Like Daughter. It's the collection of the full origin story. It's about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her, and then she inherits his abilities. So let's jump into those other titles here. We got Hotshot issues 0 through 12. So if you're looking for a long-running title, this is one to get. If you're looking also just for classic superhero storytelling, go check this one out. It's a really fun series. Moving on to Cheeky Comics Annual 2024, 3 not safe for work stories. So Cheeky is a big juggernaut on Kickstarter. Patchan in general is a big juggernaut on Kickstarter. I love seeing things that you normally see in the direct market, like an annual being instilled in Kickstarter, just because you have these huge Kickstarter books being able to tell annuals and get your audience really excited. So I think this is a really fun concept brought to a new platform or new way to tell an annual. Moving on to a couple variant covers that are out right now. Make 100, Tart issue 14. Tart's another really long-running series if you like time travel. And I like that we're getting to see more variant covers. Again, covers are a big deal in the direct market. We're seeing that played out on Kickstarter too, so why not do some exclusives for those fans? And that brings me into the last honorable mention / friend Kickstarter, and that is the Last Ember Hunted issue 1. If you missed Last Ember, it's a fun teen story. Again, classic superhero telling from the point of view of a female lead. We get to see a really fun lenticular cover. I like getting those type of covers. I don't want to call them gimmick covers, but that's what you kind of call it in comics. But I love them. I think they're so much fun. You can only have them in comics. So it's cool that we're getting to see that through Kickstarter and, again, other titles that have built a fan base to warrant these. All right, moving on to the actual top 10. Number 10 for me is We Call Them Mitts. This is a hard-boiled detective story where you get to see some fun little sidekicks as well, like robots. And I like that the style reminded me a lot of Michael Oeming, so if you like his style of artwork, I think you'll enjoy this one. Moving on to number 9, which is Pagan Valley. This is a comedy. I do like seeing comedies on Kickstarter and comics in general. We don't get to see enough comedies out there. It has to do with this girl who has a gambling problem and the things that happen to her because of it. The artwork is really sleek for this one as well, so go check it out. Moving on to number 8, which is Time and Time Again. This supernatural vampires queer. I love celebrating queer comic books, and I love how much we get to see on Kickstarter with queer comics with an angle. Again, this has the supernatural angle attached to it with some webtoon styled artwork, which I like, and it has a very unique style. Moving on to number 7, which is Where the Nightmares Are, and this is cool. So this is Where the Wild Things Are, based on the children's book. We get to see a different twist on it, a new tale, and obviously a comic book version of it. And the style of art fits that tone of that original story very well. So I just thought this was a cool concept. A public domain you don't actually get to see utilize that often on Kickstarter, actually, which, you get to see a lot of public domains usually. Moving on to number 6, which is Amelia Sky, issue 1 through 4. This is becoming a staple on Kickstarter. If you're a fan of TV shows / video games like The Last of Us, that has a very similar tone to that. And the artwork is really, really crisp for this one. I really was pulled by the art. Very professional and, like I said, just really good. Go check that out. That's number 6. Moving on to number 5, which is Make 100. This usually means that you're trying to get to a tier that has 100 items. You're trying to get 100 people to back your campaign. And this is Donut and Cheeseburger. So if you're looking for like a political satire book, this one is for you. And again, another topic that's not explored on Kickstarter enough, but has such a history in comic books. It's like, why not explore political satire in comics on Kickstarter? Moving on to number 4, which is The Tiger Who Would Be King, issue 1. If you're looking for like a Lion King style story, this is very much focusing on the visuals, the environment, and I was really blown away by the coloring in particular, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Again, it's reminiscent to maybe some of the childhood stories you enjoy. with a little bit of a twist. Moving on to number 3, which is the 30th anniversary of Gargoyles. So if you've been enjoying the Gargoyles comics from Dynamite, they've been doing a lot with Gargoyles. They are now bringing it to Kickstarter, hopefully bringing even more fans to the platform. Finally releasing these in collections. So I think it's great for Gargoyle fans, but also, again, having these properties, especially with such cult fans, it's so important to build that Kickstarter ecosystem. So I love seeing projects like this. Moving on to number 2, which is the Gods of Brutality Volume 1 trade. It has to do with a rock star in hell, and honestly a lot of the style and just the style of storytelling and art reminds me a lot of Daniel Warren Johnson. So I was like, all right, this is cool. I already like that vibe a lot. Seeing it on Kickstarter, I like a good comic that has to do with music as well and influence with music. So this was definitely up my alley. Moving on to number 1, which is Blackthorne's Coven Lily. So if you're looking for a not safe for work book, queer, go check this out. It has to do with some magic as well. And something that really drew me in was the art style. Again, has this kind of webtoon feel to it, even a little cartoony, but you also got the not safe for work angle, and obviously you got magic added in there. So I thought this was a good mesh of things for the Kickstarter, and it had a good page presentation as well. So that's my number 1 pick. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite comics of the month are on Kickstarter, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Bye, guys.